so I can't talk about puncturing myself with these chairs anymore?
No.
Are we done talking about getting verified by Google? Do we have to talk about video games now? Let's talk
Yeah.
about AI.
Let's talk
So
about
let's
let's
get into this
let's
meeting.
let's
Get
let's
into this
say
meeting.
hello
I
first.
had to prove I wasn't a robot, right? So I had to type in, like, I had to click a whole bunch of buttons. But it always seems funny to me that the same sort of checks that Google does to prove that we're not robots are things that self-driving cars are supposed to be doing,
That's what
right?
they're
I mean,
doing
that's an
now.
AI that can tell you what a traffic light is and not to hit the fire hydrant, and they're like, prove you're not a self-driving car. I need you to tell me if this is a traffic light or not. That seems really like that's some circular logic.
It is.
What if
But
they're just using that data? They're feeding it directly to the Teslas,
well, they may be doing that, or they could be
right?
using it for like
Like if you don't
video
answer
game
it fast
models.
enough, the car just hits a fire hydrant because I mean I don't know what this is. Somebody tell me on the internet. Nah, it's king data. I refuse to believe otherwise.
All right. Well, hello and welcome to DMI Live.
All right, let's talk. Let's talk video games, man.
Yeah. So today
You make
with us
video
we have
games,
Nolan
right?
Baker.
I made video games. What happened?
There you go.
This. Oh, I'm sorry.
There's a
I
little
would wave
lag.
normally, but it doesn't fit on the.
There
I
you
was
go.
trying to wave out here, and nobody can see what my hand's doing.
Okay, Nolan.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
I look one of those super films.
So Nolan is a professor at Digital Media Institute here in Shreveport, Louisiana. He is industry veteran. He's worked on several games. You can say he's a quintessential game developer.
I don't know if I would go that far, man.
Yeah. So
here's what you know about the games I've worked on. One of all the ones that I like released professionally, they weren't really games. They were more like storybook apps, like interactive storybook apps. I did a lot of those. I worked on More, It's Less More. I worked on Numberlies. I worked on, well, I guess the Scarecrow game was a game, but it was like an advert game. It was an advertisement. It was a really awesome advertisement too, because if you beat that game, you got free burritos. So you're welcome. And you're welcome, Shreveport, that we have a Chipotle in the first place. I'm glad I could help you out there.
Thank you.
I think that was part of the deal. They were like, "Look, we need you to do this really cool ad for us." And Moonbot was like, "That's great and all, but there's not a Chipotle in Shreveport. How can we trust that we're backing a good product?"
That's right.
So they put Chipotle here.
That's right.
I'm sure there's no other reason behind that.
No, there's plenty of reasons to put food here in Shreveport. We need that kind of stuff. Yeah. So that's really cool.
Yeah, but I like to think I had a large part in that just because I made their game.
I think so. It could have been a big draw for them to come in because you did that game for them.
Yeah, you know, I worked on an advertisement for Ford as well, and wouldn't you know it, there are 2013 Ford Fusions all over the place here in Shreveport. So that's probably why.
That's all you're doing. You could just pat yourself on the back for that. I can give you a virtual pat. How about that?
Yeah, thank you.
That's awesome. So,
no, I missed out on a lot of the like working on console games and stuff like that though. Like, I actually did work slightly for like the smallest amount of time on a PS3 game called Diggs Nightcrawler. None of my code shipped.
Oh man,
it's okay. No, like I got to work on the demo, and then they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna let this company in England do all the programming." So, and then the game came out, and they immediately shipped the PS4, so nobody even played the game that I didn't get to ship any code for.
Oh man.
So I know what I'm doing. Just I had zero impact.
Well, hey, what are you working on now? What kind
of? Right now, I'm making Game Boy games.
Yeah.
The Game Boy for those of you joining us, was a handheld console released by Nintendo in 1987.
That's right.
Yeah. So, I'm really current. I like to stay current. I make arcade machines. For those of you joining us, an arcade machine was this thing that you used to play video games on before you could get consoles in your home. So again, I really like to work on things that are modern.
Hey, retro's in. Look at all the new movies and stuff. The '80s, they never went away. They're still coming back full force.
Yeah, I mean, it's not for other people. It's mostly because when I was a kid, I liked to go to the arcade, and when I was a kid, I liked to play the Game Boy. And so when I grew up, I was like, I could do those. I'm gonna do that. So I did
right.
that. Yeah, it's a lot harder than I thought it was gonna be. Like making an arcade machine was not that bad, right? I mean, you cut some wood, you build a box, you put a computer inside of it, and so it's not that bad, like the hardest thing about it was trying to figure out how to get the computer to boot directly into a game instead of an operating system.
Yeah,
which is not, it's not as bad as it sounds anyway. But yeah, so that wasn't hard. Making games for the Game Boy is hard, like really hard.
Well, what are some of the challenges you run into?
Well, other than not really knowing much about assembly going into it, space, man. I'll give you a good example I ran into recently. So I don't know if you played the original Pokemon game, but they do this effect on your own character where to save space in the game, they scale up the tile, right? Yeah. And there's not like a scaling functionality. Boy, it stores video RAM, like all the it stores tiles. It's just 8 pixel by 8 pixel tiles of video RAM, and you have to construct all of your images out of those 8 pixel by 8 pixel tiles, right? And so you store all of your data in ROM space or memory space, and then you have to copy that data from ROM space into VRAM in order to display it on the screen. Well, these images that are doubled, the reason they did that was to save space in ROM. Right? So they take this image, which, if they were to copy directly into VRAM, would only take 3 or 4 tiles. So they're like 32. Oh, so it's like a four pixel, a 4 tile by 4 tile image. So it's like 32 by 32 pixels, right?
Yeah, that's pretty small.
Scale it up so it's 64 by 64. So in order to do that, you can't just copy it directly from ROM to VRAM. You have to do this intermediary step where you scale up the tiles, and then you store the scaled tiles in VRAM. Right? So I was doing that to try and replicate that effect from Pokemon. So the game I'm working on is it's a baseball. You know what? Can I share? I can. You know what? Watch this. Here we go.
Let's right.
Do this. I want to share my entire screen. Yeah, even the video of my video. There's like a picture-in-picture thing going on my screen right now. It's really nice.
I just have your name on my screen. It just says Nolan.
That's fine. I'm fine with this. All right. You want to see my video? I don't have video of me.
That's me. Hi, you sharing me on my screen.
I can't do both. Oh, I'm doing both. Yeah, I'm going to do both. Okay. All right. So,
there we go.
I got my code pulled up. That's what I was doing. So I'm going to show you what it looks like. Let me check out.
Yes.
Use version control, everybody. Version control is the greatest. All right, cool. So I don't have any work that I was doing today because I wasn't doing any work today because I don't usually do any work on my games until after like 5 o'clock. So I want to go back. So I got rid of my scaling thing just so you're aware. So let me go back.
Like a robot.
Yeah.
So we looking at like your code. What is this?
So I thought I had a bug, right? And the bug was basically basically this.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna build this bad boy. It's gonna look super broke. This is assembly code. It's like that lag on the syntax highlighting.
Yeah,
My
I see
computer
it.
is real fast. Guys, I am rocking a 2010 MacBook Pro, and I'm not going to change my mind about that for years to come, probably. Build. Where's it at? Where's it going? Do I have a broken build? What's going on here? I think it's just slow and doesn't want to build. Oh, no. Hold up. Hold on. Don't want this one. Got the same one that I just did.
Oh no, there's another screen that's coming up now. There we go.
Yeah, that's the same. I wanted this one.
There you go. Same boy.
All right. And then eventually I'll show you where I'm at right now. Hey, that one's building. Oh, come on.
Keep showing me.
All right, it doesn't like something. Go. Oh, you know what it is? It's because all right, but whatever. It's because I've got all this data that isn't version control because I generated. I don't feel like fixing it, so I'll just sort of talk my way through it. All right, so this is where it is now. This should actually work. Come on, baby.
No, it looks like a bunch of
nothing like doing
words,
a demo live.
But how much math is involved in
yeah,
this?
Look at that lag. Gonna make it big. Oh, super slow, y'all. Yeah. I'm gonna mute it because otherwise it's gonna sound like garbage the whole time. Can I video feed? Maybe that'll help a little bit over here. Hold up. I want this thing, and I want to turn off my video. Stop your video. Hopefully that helps. Okay, here we go. Let's go back. Let's get stuff. All this just so I can explain why everything's more difficult than it probably should. I like all this. Oh, you know what? We'll just turn on. Yeah. So just a stupid amount. So the thing about GBZ80 assembly that you should understand is that there isn't a floating point mathematics system, right? So if you want to do like fractions, you're out of luck. Everything is a whole number. Everything is an integer. And more than that, the only commands that you really have are add and subtract and move memory around. So if you want to do something like, I don't know, multiply two numbers together, you have to write a subroutine that does all multiplication based on those few operations that you have. All right, cool. So this sliding in thing, oh, that's broke. All right, cool. So this is actually the broken thing I was talking about.
Okay.
That is actually fixed now, but yeah, it wasn't at the time. So whenever I drag these guys in, so these actually aren't pixels. These little squares here, that's a 2 pixel by 2 pixel square. So this guy gets scaled up. And the problem with that, while the effect is exactly what I was looking for with both the VRAM viewer here, the problem with that is that I only have this much space in VRAM. All this stuff over here on the right, where it looks like I've got more space in VRAM, color, and since I'm actually targeting the original Game Boy as my like baseline hardware, I can't use any of that VRAM space. Oh. So you can see that the guy sliding in all of these tiles takes up about 64 tiles of my 256 or so background. I'm using 28 of those tiles just for user interface tiles. So I don't have a huge amount of space, right? So once you get into this game and the player, hopping on the screen and stuff like that, I have for them, right? So you go to swing. Animations are super simple because I can't fit a whole lot of space here, right? And so that's 3-frame animation, right? He's got the like waiting pose, he's got the like finish pose, and then I have some like some, what do they call that? Like a smear frame in between.
Yes.
And so you can see that I'm in VRAM over here. I'm allocating exactly 64 tiles for that whole animation, right? So when I create these animations, I have to reuse a ton, right? So let me open up yet another program and slow the stream down even more.
Oh no.
I'll pull up one of the animations just to show you what I mean by tile reuse.
Yeah. And GIMP is a pretty used program, right? Much like Photoshop.
You know, at least I'm using Photoshop. If I were using Photoshop, my computer would probably just die, and then we wouldn't be talking anymore. Oh, you must have tried to open Photoshop. Yeah. All right. Cool. I don't use anything because you never know when you're not paying for something, right? Like Photoshop, they're like, I'm gonna take some money out of your bank account every month just so you can draw some pictures, okay? And that's fine and all, but like, what happens when I don't have any money? All right, cool. So this is that image that you were seeing in the bottom left. This is my Yogi anime. Come on. All right, cool. Get big. Get big. All right, and I'm going to show the grid. So these are by 8 tiles. Okay, so construct the. I have some like Python script generate the assembly file for my images, so I don't have to like manually write that code. So I can still use I use GIFs to store my animation, which is nice because then I can preview the animation stuff like that.
Yeah.
So anyway, so this tile right here, like I can't. Let me select. There we go. I can't have. Let's say. I accidentally so slow. All right. If I wanted to move his head down 1 pixel, right, that's a completely different tile all of a sudden, right? So I can't do that. I can't have these like 1 pixel movements because I would have to store an entirely new tile for that 1 pixel movement. So you'll notice that for each frame of these animations, I try my best to keep certain tiles unmoved entirely. That way, I don't have to store an extra frame for that. So for example, we pull up one of the pitching animations where the head actually moves. So here's like my generic pitching animation. All right, so this guy, his head actually moves. Pull up my grid again. Grid, great. All right, so in this one, the head actually moves, but you'll notice that I'm keeping the tiles. They're still. It's still the exact same tile. Like if you were to shift this guy 4 tiles to the left and up 1 tile, it's the exact same, right? And same thing here. So all of these animations I have to make sure fit on those grid lines, or I have. Or it'll take too many tiles, right? I only get 64 tiles per whole animation. So even though this image is 8 tiles by 7 tiles, so 56 tiles total, 4 frames. So what is this? 4 times 56. So 224 tiles is what it would take if I had unique tiles for every single part of the image, and I can't do that. I can't fit 224 tiles. I can only fit 64, right? So just to circle back around to the thing that I was doing with my, I'm gonna kill these things now. Well, I'll do this real quick. To circle back around to the tile doubling thing, even though I'm only, let's say for a 64 by 64 pixel image, if it's doubled, I only have to store in ROM a 32 by 32 pixel image. But when I scale it back up, each tile now takes up 4 spots, 4 tiles, right? So while the space I was taking up in ROM was a lot less, I actually end up taking a lot more space in RAM because of that tile expansion. So I had to get rid of that effect for the players. But yeah, that's the sort of stuff that I run into. It's a lot of like, I just don't have a lot of room. And more than just like the limited VRAM space, I also have a very limited ROM space. So, right now, the cartridge that I'm using to build these games, and I'm gonna quit everything real quick and then go back to video feed. And I think Crystal messaged me that we're asking questions, so I'll read her text in a second. Okay. Let me stop sharing.
Hey, it's me again.
I know that's the opposite of what I wanted. I don't I want to not share my screen. How can I stop sharing? Can I just start?
Hit stop
I don't know how
share.
to
There
work.
we go.
I don't know how technology works, guys. I'm still stuck in the 80s. I don't know if
That's
you guys
programmer
know.
technology.
Yeah. I mean, I was born in 87, so I'm stuck in the 80s. I'm basically a 2-year-old. For those of you wondering. Can I not stop sharing my screen? Did I already stop sharing my screen?
Yeah, you
Was that
stopped
an
sharing
accident?
it. It's just you again.
I don't even remember when that happened. Anyway, so this is a
Yes.
take it out of the cartridge so you can actually see it. This is a
Thank
Game
you.
Boy cartridge.
Hey.
I'm using awesome Inside Gadgets reflashable 2 megabyte with 108 kilobytes of RAM, cartridge RAM, so I can save stuff. So yeah, the cartridge is 2 megabytes, which is not a whole lot of space. I mean, like if you open up Unity and create a new project with nothing in it and hit build, it's going to be 40 megabytes. Right? I mean, like that's an empty Unity project is 40 megabytes. I've got 2 megabytes to fit this entire 60-hour plus game that I'm failing to create. And so
you're doing well.
It's not just that I have 2 megabytes total. It's 2 megabytes cut into 16 kilobyte chunks.
Yeah.
So the way that Game Boy games worked is you had what's called bankable space. And this is how a lot of older games, cartridge games worked, is that you would do this thing called bank switching. So generally speaking, you would have a memory map that would map to a bunch of it's a bunch of addresses where data can be stored, and that address space is only 32 kilobytes big. Right, so that's how many. That's the size of your addressable space, and so games like Tetris fit entirely within that 32 kilobytes, right? But games like Pokemon, which were much bigger and had a lot more images and stuff like that, they had to split it up. And so what you would have is you have your bank zero space, which is always available, and you have your switchable bank, which is the second 16 kilobytes, and you can write code in that second 16 kilobytes, but you can't switch banks from that second 16 kilobytes. So a lot of your functionality still has to fit within 16K. No matter how much space you've got to store all your images and stuff like that, no matter how much space you've got to store data for your game, everything still has to fit within about 16 kilobytes for your main gameplay loop. So yeah, there's a lot of limitations to it. I don't know why I decided to do this.
It sounds very ambitious. Maybe just wanted to challenge yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I'm bored with like writing games in C# and C++ because I've been doing it for so long, and I was like, oh, what's something cool that I can do? And I was playing a game called TIS 100. Have you ever heard of this game?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So it's a game where you program an assembly. It's because that's what I do for fun, right? I'm done programming. My day job is done. What do I want to do for my free time? Why don't we go play a video game where we do more of that? So I was playing TIS 100, and I was like, oh, this is a really cool game. What can I do to be productive that's similar? So I was like, oh, let's try Game Boy programming. And so I started off trying to do ROM hacking. And there's like a really dedicated community of people who disassembles their favorite games and like documents it and tries to understand what was going on or what the intention was. And like, when you disassemble code, like it's not like reading the source code for a game. You have no idea really what's going on, and you just have to sort of tinker with stuff to figure out what was happening. Oh, when I change this happens. And so people have spent years, documenting this decompiled code and trying to make it readable. And so I started with that. I downloaded a decompilation of Pokemon Red and Blue, and I started messing with it, seeing what I could do. I had no idea what I was doing. I couldn't, like, as much TIS 100 as I had played, didn't matter. Game Boy assembly was hard. And so I stopped. I tried out a system called GBDK, the Game Boy Development Kit, which is a C library for writing games. I've written a lot of C, so cool. Let's write a game in C. And what I found is that it's just too slow. Like, here's the fastest language on the planet, and it's too slow for Game Boy games.
Oh.
And so I got really far with that. I had somewhat of a demo, and I just ran into a brick wall, and things were too slow, and I couldn't calculate everything. And so I went back to the beginning where, I had originally tried to do something in assembly, and I couldn't. And so I rewrote the game from scratch in assembly, and just tried going line by line, and let's translate this piece of C code into assembly and try to understand what's going on. And I can safely say that I understand what's going on now.
Yeah.
But it's still really hard.
You go line by line, yeah, you can find it.
Dude, I mean, I spent 3 days writing a subroutine just to print text on the screen. That's all I wanted to do. I want to take this string and I want to print it to the screen. That's it. Just some text. 3 days. It was hard. Because it's not just that, and it got worse because it wasn't just that I needed to print some text. Like, that actually wasn't as terrible. It was that I needed to print text dynamically, right? So let's say you win a baseball game, and so I guess I didn't really explain what the game is. It's a baseball RPG. It's exactly Pokemon, except instead of raising magical monsters and making them fight each other and then trading them with your friends and stuff like that. You recruit baseball players and force them to play baseball with each other, and then you trade them. It's the same game, just fighting all baseball.
Like you forcing them to play with each other and then trade them.
Yeah. Actually, I started like redrawing some of the old. Here, let's share the screen again and put some.
That's right. Let's share again.
Oh no! Oh, it didn't like me to share my screen. Uh-oh. Why not? Why can't I? What's the button?
Red button.
I did something wrong earlier. Why can't I share my screen again? It says your browser is preventing access to your screen share. That's unfortunate. Can I fix that?
I want to see those characters.
Man, I want to show you these characters. Is that serious? Can I really not do that?
I don't know.
Come on, baby. Let me do the thing. I have to...
You have to check the box to see if you're not a robot.
Hold up. Blocked temporarily. I don't know why. Start my video. Yeah, start my video.
There we go.
Share my screen. There we go. I must have accidentally clicked don't allow earlier. All right. Entire screen. Yeah. Allow. All right. You ready for this?
I am. Here I am. Again.
Cool. Oh, sorry, that's not important. It's me and my wife's anniversary coming up, and we make T-shirts every year.
Yay!
With us wearing the previous year's T-shirt. So, all right, let's pull up my baseball RPG stuff. Let's look at some content. I'm going to read this message while I click through this because Crystal cares. What programs? That is not what I wanted. I'm also using a 10-year-old phone, for those of you wondering. For somebody who teaches people about technology, I really don't like technology. Cool. All right, Crystal says, yo. Second message. They want to know what programs you're using to make the game. I'm not. I'm writing it in raw GBZ80 assembly. It's not a game engine. There's nothing helping me out there. It is just straight up assembly in a text editor. That's my tools. The assembler is called RGBDS, which is the Rednex Game Boy Development System. Super catchy name there.
Love those names.
Cool. So, yeah, I know, right? So this is Bubby. He's my Bulbasaur character. So yeah, I went through. Let's see if I can get both of them up at the same time. So I got reference to. Hold up. Hold the phone. Hand the phone to me. I'll pull up a reference in a second. Let's do that. Let's do this. We'll say reference Pokemon concept art. Nope. It is it illustrations? That's what I'm looking for.
There we go. Illustrations.
All right, cool. So these are the dude. Even hitting the preview button is slow on this computer.
I see that.
This is Bulbasaur. These are the original. These are the original illustrations, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so like whenever I'm making a game, the first thing I do is get a crap ton of just folder upon Pokemon reference. Like I found the original concept art. These are actually really cool.
That's
sweet. You haven't seen. using like the old school drawing. Told them this is my favorite, and I'm in the process of redrawing it. I'm not ready to show it off. This one, so this is a Pokemart image, and so like you go in there and you're there to buy some stuff. But look, they got Pokemon in cages back here, and in tanks and stuff.
And glass tubes too.
Right. So I really want to recreate this same sort of image, just like I'm recreating all the original illustrations. So I'm going to put baseball players in cages. I'm going all out. You know, if you're going to do it right. So yeah. So this is the original stuff. Let me pull up these illustrations again, just so you can see a side by side.
Those look really
definitely it's gonna be mad at me.
Yeah.
Let's just grab these first 9 or so. Let's open it with preview, and then I'm gonna pull up my versions of these, just so you can see sort of where I'm coming from. Oh nope, hold up. My players. All right, cool. So same sort of stuff here. I want to just do open with preview.
There we go.
Yeah, baby. I know how to work a computer. You can tell because of the way that I just did that. All right, let's do some side by sides here. I'm just gonna leave these on the left. So yeah, so this is I tried to go through and do like human representations of each of the players. And mostly the eyes stayed identical when I did these. So the Charmander, Charmeleon, Charizard chain, this is all, you know, just a pasty redhead.
Yeah, it captures the Pokemon character's essence, you know.
I thought that's more or less what I was going for. I mean, it's a parody, so you know, I don't feel too bad basically doing the same thing as them, but yeah, and so I did this for all 151 of the original Pokemon, and then I went through and did the same thing for the sprites. So like, pull up my.
Well, we don't have time to show all of this stuff, Nolan.
We don't have time to show any of this. None of it.
It's like time to go.
Oh, it's time to go. We can't just hang out here all day. Oh, it's half an hour.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So, man, I guess I wasted a lot of time. I'm glad I could do that. Let me start the screen, start the video.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, that's what I waste my time on when I'm not teaching people how to use Unity and Blender and stuff. Oops. Come on, hit the button.
There you go. Cool. Yeah.
I was trying.
You did good. I like it. I think that's awesome, and I really appreciate you sharing all of it with us.
Yeah.
Some questions.
Yeah, anytime.
All right. Well, this has been DMI Live, guys.
All right.
Yeah, we just like leave the meeting and stuff, and we'll see you guys next week. Thank you.
Well, we're gonna keep hanging out, right? Like, me and you, we're just gonna talk. I don't care.